Welcome to Blueprint, Expo City Dubai's podcast where we meet the visionaries and innovators shaping Dubai's future. Tune in for candid conversations, discover how Expo City is driving transformation, and uncover the ideas that inspire fresh ways of imagining what's next.
So welcome back to Blueprint by Expo City Dubai, our podcast, and I'm honored to welcome Mrs. Sima Ved, one of the Middle East's most influential businesswomen and founders of the Apparel Group, a leading multi-billion-dollar portfolio with more than 85 brands across 14 different countries. Sima, welcome to our podcast and welcome to the APCS 2025 and our Global Mayors Forum.
Thank you so much for having me. Honestly, you said to me earlier that, you need no introduction, but yet I love hearing it. So thank you for that.
Well, then let me do a bit of an introduction for those of our listeners who want to know a little bit more about your background. You are a Forbes recognized leader in retail innovation, in women's empowerment and entrepreneurship, and a respected philanthropist and mentor. You steer business strategies, global partnerships, and workplace diversity from Dubai to the world. Really, you're an inspiration.
Thank you. Can I take you home? Can you say this in front of my 3 kids and my husband and have them believe it?
With
that
pleasure,
would be awesome.
with absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
And I heard you on stage, and I want to start a little bit with what you were saying about how you grew up in Dubai and how Dubai has been formative in the experiences that you've had and what you've taken into the world. And so as one of the sort of the global leading cities hosting so many cities from around the world, I'd love to understand what role Dubai has played in really shaping your leadership as you've led the Apparel Group to such success.
I have to tell you, growing up in Dubai, it taught me that no dream can ever be big enough. And my husband says this all the time, and it's thanks to him and me as a joint partnership that we grew the company to what it is today, which is, like you mentioned, 85 brands in 14 countries, 27,000 employees. And I'm so proud that we have 38% of our employees as women, because I think that's one of the values that I've picked up from Dubai, that you have to have that female empowerment, and hence me at the helm as well. I just think Dubai makes it possible to dream the impossible. And it tells you that as long as you have the courage to dream it, we'll make it happen, or we'll help you make it happen. Yeah. There are countless think tanks that our company has been involved in with His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, and numerous initiatives have come out of that. I don't know many countries, Nadia, where the public sector doesn't just tick a box by saying that they want to listen to the private sector or the business people. They actually implement the action plans that come out of these gatherings. So to me, I'm living in the city that makes it possible to show that a front row seat to public and private partnership can lead to intense progress, and the speed. Yeah. That's one of the values at Apparel. Yeah. We now can fit out a 10,000 square foot box in 19 days. And that's something I'm super proud of, because our 85 international brand partners are actually waiting for us to share how we do that.
So then how would you share that with the cities that are here? How would you share how you do that? So you've talked a little bit about sort of a theme of inclusive growth. You've talked about doing it men and women together. You were on a panel just now on women leadership in cities, and then also the inclusive growth of and the agility of a city like Dubai, and then bringing that into Apparel. So then how do you take that operating system and share it with other cities and places around the world?
So, I think adapting to your environment is so important, and letting go of old school bureaucracy. A long time ago, I went to a seminar at Harvard, and they were talking about kill the stupid. And for a minute there, I was like, what does that mean? And that literally meant I came back to the organization, and my husband and I sat down, and we actually killed every policy that was old school and relevant at that time and no longer relevant now. So I think for countries, cities, communities to keep adapting and adopting new ones, like we often talk about the different laws that the British left behind to India, which today no longer serve us, but we're not willing to let go of them because they're part of our system.
Yeah, and part of our institutional memory,
exactly.
It's difficult to offload. I love this idea of kill the stupid. So how do you take that and apply that to the future of retail? So what does the disruption of retail look like, and what is the role of cities in that.
In the future, I foresee retail being completely different from what it is today. In my mind, I feel the next generation is not going to want any more landfills, any more excesses that we have, and we're filling the environment with these gases when we're burning stock. So to avoid all of that, I do believe in 3D printing. And I do believe that every city in the world, and if this happens, I definitely want some kind of credit for it because I'm sharing the idea now on this platform. I do believe in 3D printing, and I do believe that we'll reach a point in our lives where Nadia goes online, orders, say, a Gucci shirt. It's made to her size, delivered to her by her 3D printing hub in 2 days or even less. So the only thing missing out there, the link that's not there yet, is the R&D materials. The materials that actually go into these 3D printers, and having, of course, 3D printers that are of mixed use. They're not just doing garments, they're doing shoes, accessories, etc., etc.
Yeah, wow.
That's where I see retail headed.
Yeah.
I don't think there should be anything anymore wasted and done just because, and then not sold.
So, but what are the barriers to entry to that world? Because, you know, in the room, we have cities from India, we have cities from South Africa, from Nigeria, from Kenya, from the Philippines to Brazil. Are they all at the same level in terms of their retail experience? And where does that apply? And what are the quick wins to get there?
So I think the first thing to realize is that we need to start looking at materials that can be organic, sustainable, without breaking the bank. Like, you know, when we first started buying organic produce, it was a crazy price compared to the supermarket. They're much better now. So we figured out that if we have localized farms and we can grow it straight directly from farm to table, it's much easier. Similarly with this, if the technology is within the city, within the country, it's not being imported, or, you know, like we're not importing the raw materials, etc., I think it'll make life a lot easier.
Yeah.
So having that, finding the sources that we have, and it could be that a certain city is great at certain raw materials, and that's where accessories come from.
Right.
Or that's where garments come from, or that's where shoes come from. My point is that nobody's going to create stocks and stocks and stocks of stuff, which then, if not sold, go fill our landfills.
Yeah, sure.
I think that's the
The
criminal
mindset
wastage.
has completely shifted,
That's
right?
the criminal wastage we need to get get hold of.
Yeah.
The other thing is, if you look at the generation that's coming after us, or even after that, they're not interested in investing in a home or in a car. They're asset light. They want to be agile. They want to be able to move wherever they go, or wherever they decide to go. So I think, bearing all these things in mind, we're going to see more and more of them buying less and less. So it's just going to be buying what you like, what you want, but holding on to it.
Advice to mayors, okay? So you're in this forum and you're meeting a lot of mayors and you're hosting a lot of mayors and city leaders. What are you keen for them to understand about the business community's role in the sustainable urban transformation that you talk about?
I think it's so important to relate to the fact that businesses don't just rent a space in a city. They actually co-create the rhythm and the resilience. And I think this is what mayors need to understand, that businesses can bring so much more to the table if they're included from the word go. Not when it's all done and then you kind of just come in just to tick a box and say, okay, what do you think we should do? But implement none of those ideas.
Yeah.
So I think having a business person represent the interests of the whole community from the word go and from the beginning will make for such an inclusive system.
Yeah.
We will be, like, I was in Saudi and the Minister of Land actually had a meeting with us, and I was telling him that we employ 4,500 people in Saudi, and they were telling us that they wanted to learn English now as a second language because they're expecting so much tourism. Based on that, they wanted to try and create an ecosystem where the women had access to training, they had access to childcare, and they had, of course, safe mobility, etc. So I think having access to care, infrastructure, education, training, it all has to come from planning.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
Vienna, you know, we
Absolutely.
all know Vienna with its planning has managed to increase the usage of its public spaces by women and children by 30%.
That's
You know,
significant.
Seoul's mixed zoning has helped create so many clusters of little business communities. And Dubai's urban planning 2040, which is going to create the 20-minute city, I think that's going to be revolutionary for us.
Which we already have at Expo City Dubai. So we're already a 15-minute city. And the
Exactly.
idea of accessibility and being able to get around easily, being sustainable, truly sustainable, not a buzzword, but really living and breathing the ethics and the practice of it is, I think you're right, the direction we're all going in.
Because if you think about it, if you're 40 minutes out of what's relevant, you're already ostracized.
You're already
too far away from prosperity.
So given everything that you've said, and I love this idea of co-creation, it's what we believe in, it's what we've done at Expo City for so many years, so we're philosophically completely aligned with everything you're saying. Who has been or is your most inspiring city leader, or somebody who you know of who's implemented all of this?
I think for me, honestly, like I've seen at this conference and I heard her speak this morning, the governor of Tokyo.
Yeah.
The mayor, I mean, she really made some solid points, and embedding sustainability into a complex mega city is a huge task, and she's taking it on board. So I think the governor of Tokyo is someone I would look up to.
Yeah, she's really quite a remarkable woman.
Definitely.
So one last light question, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Your favorite city for shopping? If that's possible to choose one.
I would definitely go with Paris.
Yeah.
I think I have bags everywhere that say Paris is always a good idea. And I don't know what it is about that iconic place, but from watching Dior do their facades in Christmas to having, you know, the summers there, I love Paris.
Well, it's experiential, as you
Yes,
say. It really
yes,
is an incredibly goosebumpy experience being in Paris.
Exactly.
Sima, what an honor. Thank you so much for joining us.
It's been mine too. Thank
Really,
you,
it's
Nadia.
wonderful.
Thank you for having
really
me.
appreciate you. Thank you.
you.